Hello everybody and welcome back to Full House Sports here, myself Charlie. A reminder before the video starts, please like, comment and subscribe. Anything you guys do is greatly appreciated to try and become a one-man sports news bandwagon. And there is so much sport going on over the festive period. Gonna try and do previews, reviews, talking points out of all of it, so bear with me. And starting with boxing, because on Saturday night, for me, pound for pound number one, maybe. Pound for pound number two, certainly. Naoya Inoue returns to the sport. It's tradition in Japanese sort of culture, I guess, certainly boxing culture, that these big fights do tend to take place over this period in time, this Christmas and New Year. Boxing Day has been an occasion beforehand, and Saturday the 27th of December in Saudi Arabia, Inoue returns, placed off against Alan Picasso on a ring card that is titled the Night of the Samurai. The reason is because some of Japan's best are on this card. You also got Inoue and Nakatani fighting against Sebastian Hernandez. I mean, we'll talk about him and Inoue coming up soon as well. There's also one of the Satsumi brothers on the card, and Kenshiro Teraji attempting to become a three-weight world champion. I feel like to us Western eyes, a lot of these Japanese fighters, because a lot of them do operate in the lower divisions and they don't tend to come out of Japan because they don't need to. The lucrative fights are in Japan and the promoters are putting up the money in Japan. I feel like we're maybe not aware of them, but hopefully with this Turkey Al Sheikh ring card, people can watch them, because everyone knows Inoue now because of how entertaining and how good he is. But there's a lot of other fighters that deserve a lot of credit. Nakatani is one who I think people maybe don't realise just how good he is. Him versus Inoue would be a mega fight in Asia. Probably the biggest fight in Asian history, dare I say. I think it would do the Tokyo Superdome. It would be huge. Taraji's attempt to become a three-weight world champion. The Satsumi brothers, well, obviously one of them was supposed to fight Jazza Dickens, but that fight's not on. But they are huge, huge fights. One of them's fighting Leonardo Quintana, I believe, on the card. They are great fights, and they are great fighters. And like I say, because obviously we in Britain and America don't tend to produce fighters in those weight classes, because they are the historically smaller weight classes, we don't maybe give them the credit they deserve. But I think it'll be an absolutely fantastic night of boxing. It's so high level. It's unbelievable. I think for Inoue, you'd expect him to come through this. He's had a bit of an up and down year, really, when you think back to the fight against Cardenas, which was in May, wasn't it? And yeah, he was dropped, wasn't he? And it was entertaining. It was a bit end-to-end. But do you know what? He's come out of that. He's still his destructive self. He's obviously undisputed and looking at going, I think, further on up to maybe fight Nakatani. There's also talks of a Nick Ball fight, which is something that I think we'd all like to potentially see over here. I think that would be massive. I saw Frank Warren talk about the potential fight Inoue brothers versus Nick Ball and Andrew Kane. I mean, that over here would do numbers, because we do have the boxing public to look at that. You'd expect Inoue to come through Picasso quite well. I think he'll come through quite quickly. Nakatani wins, that's the fight we understand that's going to be made. And like I say, it's going to be massive in Japan. It's going to be huge. I fancy Nakatani in that fight to maybe cause the upset, because he's wholly underrated, I think. Think back to his knockout of Maloney, wasn't it, that he knocked out? I can't remember on what undercard that was, but it was devastating. And since then, he's been a guy that I've watched a lot, because like Inoue, he's got those fireworks in him. Taraji is to become a three-weight world champion. He's done light fly, he's done flyweight, he's now going up to superfly. These guys, it's a cheeseburger between weight classes, really. But it would be good to see him do that and cement himself, I think, as potentially a legend in the Japanese sporting world. All in all, it's good to see boxing back on the telly. It's good to have something to watch over Christmas and New Year, and it's always great to see Inoue. Where does Inoue go in the pound-for-pound rankings? That's an interesting point. Where does he go? Is he top? Is he second? Probably Usyk's top. I like as well this week, I think we've seen Inoue maybe become more... I know he's quite a character anyway, but he's become more, I think... I don't know. He seems to have a more new... I hate using this word, aura. But he seems to have a new sort of confidence about him. Maybe it's Crawford retiring, so he knows he's definitely top two in the world. Maybe it's the fact that now he feels he's getting his dues. Turkey Al Sheikh's funding it. He's happy. Maybe he knows the potential of a Nakatani fight, how big, though, that excites him. He just seems to be marketed really well, which is great to see. As always, guys, please like, comment and subscribe. Anything you guys do is greatly appreciated. Let's try and become a one-man sports news bandwagon. Have a great day.